Hey, what's up, lightboltjoe here. Today we are going to discuss the 2009 action-adventure thriller film X-Men Origins Wolverine. This is an interesting film because I still am not quite sure how the timeline works out, since the timeline was rewritten within X-Men Days of Future Past. But I'm going to believe the first half of this film is an accurate time frame. So I love the beginning. The beginning of this movie is one of my favorite beginnings of any film. It starts out in Canada, Rockies, the Rocky Mountains of Canada, 1845. We have a young Jimmy and a young Victor, and they are brothers, but they don't know that they're brothers because they have the same father, different moms, but the same father. So there's like 1845 scandal. Victor is therefore known as Sabretooth, and James, who then eventually goes by Logan, is Wolverine. So Wolverine is born with bone claws that shoot out of his hands, and then eventually the adamantium is grafted to his bones, causing the blades more so than the claws themselves. So Jimmy and Victor are constantly on the run, but then they eventually just join up in the army, of the U.S. Army. Not the Canadian Army, the U.S. Army. So they fight in the Civil War with the Union. They fight in World War I. They fight in World War II. They fight in Vietnam. And then the story kind of stays within Vietnam, that Victor starts to go murder crazy. And William Stryker, who is a military scientist, who, again, is trying to find a cure for... who's trying to deal with the mutant problem because his son is a mutant and his son killed his wife. So he creates a band of misfit mutants, sure, that are tasked to go and kill the bad mutants rather than, you know, kill the bad people in general. Wolverine wants nothing to do with this anymore. Ryan Reynolds is in this. Ryan Reynolds plays Wade Watts. Excuse me, Wade Watts is not Wade Wilson, who plays Wade Wilson. Wade Watts is totally different. Ready Player One. Wilson, there we go, Wade Wilson, is Deadpool, right? So we're introduced to Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool. Eventually we get the Deadpool 1 and Deadpool 2 films, and Ryan Reynolds himself gets to be in charge of some time travel and shoots himself in the head to therefore not have Green Lantern happen and to not have Wolverine, X-Men Origins Wolverine happen, because this portrayal of Deadpool is atrocious. That's why the first half of this film is great, but then the second half is just wonky. So they take Wade's character, make him into Weapon 11, Chimera, a hybrid Chimera of different mutant powers, and then he eventually gets decapitated by, you know, Wolverine anyway. But it's interesting having Wolverine retire for a bit, being a lumberjack in Canada, getting a girlfriend, Kayla, who happens to be a mutant, who happens to be betraying him because her sister is being kept by Stryker on an island, go figure, along with other mutants, go figure, because that's what Stryker does during his experimentations. So she had to play the game to get her sister free, but then, like, obviously Stryker can't be trusted, so he manipulated the system and stuff happens, right? I love the carnival scene. I love the boxing match scene. I love the fact that Gambit is a very important X-Men character. He's a very important mutant. This is the only film that he is in. He was supposed to get his own film. Channing Tatum was supposed to play him, but just never happened. So we'll see if we get any more Gambit thrown into the mix. Now, why I'm confused with the timeline is because Professor X meets Scott Summers' Cyclops in this film, right? This film takes place primarily in 1981. And Scott and Charles meet in the 60s, according to X-Men First Class. Unless I completely got that wrong and I have to revisit X-Men First Class, and I need to confirm whether Scott is in X-Men First Class or is he introduced later on, like in Days of Future Past or after that. I don't know. I have to confirm that. If Scott is not in Days of Future Past, because I don't remember, then the timeline should be okay. The fact that Wade Wilson, I keep saying Wade Watts, Wade Wilson revisits and, you know, destroys Weapon X, so that way that never happens within that timeline. But I need to just see how that happens. Also, this is 1981, right? So Charles has his conscience thrown into a coma person at the end of the last film, X-Men The Last Stand. So, like, how does Charles get his body back moving forward, you know, movies from now? we will visit that. But on to what is next. The Wolverine? Yes, so we had X-Men Origins Wolverine, then we have The Wolverine, and then we have Logan. So that's technically the trilogy of Wolverine films, even though he is in all of the, mutant X-Men films, not New Mutants, and not Deadpool and Deadpool 2. So let us see what happens next. On to the Wolverine. Mucho mahalo.